I'm in Savannah. It's the 5th of, is it? Yes, the 5th of June. And I arrived here at Savannah. Unfortunately, on the way in, I was squeezing between a container ship, which is about 100 feet away from me, and a sea buoy marking the entrance to a side channel. And I was watching the sea buoy approach with it against the background. It seemed to be tracking just fine. And then at the last minute, as I was approaching it, I could tell that there was a counter current or a side current that was pulling me toward that side channel. And yeah, I collided with the buoy, the sea buoy. Made a pretty good bang, did some fiberglass crunching at the front, and made some scrapes down the side of the boat. Tried to grab the dinghy, hung on for a second to it, and I thought it was going to rip, and then it let go. So the dinghy was okay, but yeah, I've got some repair work to do on the boat. The oil canning effect of the hull in the front cabin, where it first initially had impact, popped the bookshelf right off the wall, so I have to do some repairs on that. I think it's all quite repairable. It just I'll have to get back together when I have some opportunity. Anyway, Savannah, tomorrow we're going to go around and take a look and see what there is here. It seems to be a very pleasant place. And I especially want to see the pirate house here, so tomorrow we'll go take a look at that. Well, on the 6th of June, we're here in a park listening to some sort of a mockingbird. And this is called The Waving Girl. I haven't quite learned yet what the significance of that is. It's a drizzly day here, but you take what weather you can get. Here's one of those container ships that caused me so much grief on my arrival here. And here in the historical district of town on East Broad Street is a place I was always curious about. The old Pirate's House, as it's called. It's now a restaurant. It owns its curious history to having a connection with Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island. In the book, of course, the fictitious Captain Flint dies of disease or something in Savannah here, and so they claim that he had died in one of their upstairs bedrooms, because at the time it was an inn. Well, it could very well have happened if Flint had actually been alive, because this house has a very dubious reputation of being a haunt of pirates and seafarers, and there was an underground tunnel that goes out toward the water, and there were stories that sailors would often get shanghaied here and that sort of thing. So Savannah had a very tumultuous history with piracy, so you know, if Captain Flint were to have been a real person, were to have died here, very possibly he could have died in one of their rooms. Anyway, it makes it a very interesting spot for me.
Well, I always like to start at the beginning, and you can't get any more in the beginning than this. This is the oldest house in Georgia, the Trustees Gardener's home. It was built in 1734, 1 year after the founding of Savannah, 1733. Now, but here we're looking at the oldest tunnel that's still in existence, that can be seen anyway, in the city of Savannah. Now, these tunnels were built for commerce, and they were built, 11 of these tunnels were built eventually at the oldest bar in the city of Savannah. This is the famous rum cellar. It was built in 1754, the same time that the Wayfarers Inn was built by John Reynolds. This is the first restaurant and hotel in the city. Now, you would have been on the outside of the building if you were here in those early days. This gate was put in place because of the nature of the sailing trade. You know, it takes 3 months for a sailing ship to come from England to Savannah. And in those 3 months, no one knew when a ship was going to make dock. It could be either 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the morning. They did not know. But one thing they were sure of, when the sailors got off that ship, they wanted a place where they could eat and drink, and they had it available for them right here.
I mean, not a contract, but already got a deal. So I can buy 5 for $100. But
Hi.
What we'll do is go around the front of the Earth house, stand under the porch, and tell our little ghost story. See, this is the main building, and this was the way it was all the way up to 1953. So it wasn't a very big place, and everything else is attached. It's not attached. And after 53 and 54, all this whole complex, and then in 1980 they added that green building, so it became a massive place. So it was very, very big. Okay, our ghost story, we can stand here if you like, under here. First thing you're going to notice, that here we are at the oldest house again. This is the Herb house. And you're going to notice it's not very big. It's only 16 feet across, 27 feet high, and 24 feet long. Another thing you'll notice about this old place is that the sills of the door and windows are very askew. Why, they are so crooked, as a matter of fact, that the first thought you might have is, boy, that carpenter must have been really in his cups when he built this place. Or maybe it's so old it's starting to settle. But you know what? That's not the case at all. The truth of the matter is, the carpenter did this on purpose. And the reason for that is because what he believed in and where he came from. Because he came from the Isle of Trinidad, and they had a superstition. It goes sort of like this. If you put your front door and your front windowsill at this askew angle, if you paint your doors and your windows this blue, which is indigo and milk paint, they call it hate blue down in Georgia here, meaning spirit, the superstition is it will keep evil spirits from coming into your house. So that's why they do this. So it is a deterrent to keep evil spirits from entering your house. Well, you know what? It may keep evil spirits from coming into your house, but it also keeps them in, because we got one more ghost to talk about. Oh, yeah. Now, he died way back in the year 1820 of the yellow fever epidemic that struck Savannah so severely that year that it killed over 700 people. He was one of the victims. And another odd thing about this little apparition, they claim only women can see him. And the reason for that is because of the very last words he spoke before he passed on, which is, "I want my mother." Sad but true, he was looking out the window, calling for his mother on the very last day of his life. So that's why only women claim to have seen.
So some people say they can see a boy's face at that pane.
Apparently, yes. Yeah. Well, you know, he's a pretty active little apparition. People see him at least twice a year. He was just seen 7 months ago. 2 ladies were getting off a bus late at night, coming down here, coming off of work. Well, of course, they're walking past the herb house, and guess who they see? Well, he looked so real to them, they thought he was some kid locked in the restaurant, like some parent would forget their child. Well, that's what they believe.
Well, you heard about how Chief can make me laugh. Well, here's another example. He starts sitting in the boat near the center. I don't know I can't see what I'm aiming at here. And he slowly is working himself back. Where are we? Back into the back of the boat, so that now he's falling over the gas tank, and his back paws are sticking out in the air. Hey, Amber, that's pretty silly, isn't it? And so this is how we're ending up. He just keeps moving back until he's beside me, and he's falling over the gas can. Oh, I don't know. He's a funny guy. Makes me laugh. The anchorage we're at here, which is not far from Hilton Head, South Carolina, is beside a very large floodplain here. This mud is quite stiff, which is nice for us because we can go for a walk on it. And it's quite extensive too. These kind of places where you can give the dogs a nice walk are pretty rare. The best idea is to have a nice dry bank with deep water leading up to it so that you can get the dinghy right up to it easily, and then there'd be maybe a road or something beside the water where you can walk to your heart's content. The dogs are not getting enough walking, but there's not much you can do about it. Some places are much worse than this, and you end up beside mud flats that are soft, and they're terrible. You can't get them ashore properly. All you can do basically is let them wade through the thick, sticky mud to get up into the grass and take a pee while you wait in the dinghy, and that's not a walk. They don't go farther than about 10 feet, just enough to have a pee. But here it's fun to go for a little walk. Been no accidents now for a while from Amber, so that's very good. She's doing well. The dogs sometimes look like four-footed Godzillas with the townspeople running before them. You can see these these crabs everywhere that scatter out of your way as you head toward them. When you step back and watch Chief and Amber wading through fields of these things that are moving, it looks like aerial shots from some African movie with the wildebeest all scattering in front of the airplane. It's funny.
Let's go to channel 1-2, channel 12.
I'm going to come on your port side. We're going to have defenders out of the water line on your starboard side.
So check this out here. This is Parris Island, the Marine recruit depot.
Yes, sir. I have.
And the water tower says, "We make Marines." You ladies pack the gear to serve in my beloved corps. Wonder if Lee Ermey's there. I think he's dead, but anyway. I've seen one guy jogging so far, that's it. That's rather disappointing. Well, it is now the 10th of June and we're in Factory Creek, Beaufort, and check this sky out here. We got the dogs back for their little pee, and we got the hatches battened down. And I think we did it just in time. We're going to get some storm here pretty soon. Over there is Beaufort's. go to see that tomorrow. A lot of moisture in the air every day, and this is the result. Usually we have thunderstorms gathering in the evening, but they always seem to be a little more upwind, sorry, I should say inland than where we are, but this one's a little closer now. There's no doubt we're going to get a bit of a soaking here at the very least. Just hoping the lightning stays up in the cloud. We're going to get it wet from this band over here. There's a lot of activity over there, but that will miss us. Well, we're out for a few hours just to walk around Beaufort, and I saw this old house here. And it's interesting, the live oak they've got in the front here, it's got a branch that's down so low that pretty well you'd have to duck under that to get to the house. Well, we're ready for a little walking tour of the downtown part of Charleston. That's the Nathaniel Russell House. There are a lot of really old buildings in Charleston and many private residences going back to the mid-1700s. And some are open to the public, and of course most are not, still being lived in. This is the Calhoun Mansion.
In any case, this is the largest single-family residence on the peninsula. 24,000 square feet. Just a shade over 24,000. 35 rooms. When this was built back in 1876, cost $240,000. That's a shot.
And now, upon leaving Charleston, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that that is Fort Sumter. Now, Fort Sumter is rather important to the Americans, as it was where the opening shots of the Civil War were fired, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, I'm relying on my incredible memory for all of this stuff that you're getting right now. So we know that's going to work. Oh, there's a dolphin ahead of us. Well, yeah, there he is. Well, now that I'm getting up into the more northerly part of South Carolina, we come up with the problem with the dogs of being able to get them ashore. This is a cypress swamp on this river. I can't remember the name of the river, but there's the Reserve Harbor Yacht Club. And when you've got a cypress marsh, you've got the trees in the water, and basically there is no dry land anywhere to get to. So I anchored opposite the marina there so I could take the dogs into the marina. And I was very sneaky and escaped scrutiny, so that worked out all right. But anyway, it's part of the challenges when you're traveling with dogs, is they have to have a place to walk, or they should have a place to walk, although they don't seem to be having any problem in actually going to the bathroom back here in the cockpit, or sometimes taking a dump under the kitchen or saloon table like Chief did today. Anyway, it's all part of the fun and enjoyment. be, I would think, probably another couple days before I'm out of South Carolina. Just going up through North Carolina now, and this is a live fire gunnery range here. I don't know, maybe for fighter jets or something. So there's carcasses of armored personnel carriers and such in here along the route, and I guess they come in and strafe them by fighter jet or something. So anyway, very interesting. Poor Chief has been having a little bit of diarrhea problems, and Amber's not doing too badly, so everything's pretty good. Anyway, carrying on northward. As Chief gets older, it's interesting, he's starting to develop a little bit different coloring. His all-white nature before is now changing a little bit, that he's getting these kind of coppery colored areas, like there around his mouth. Little concern going on because there's some thunder in the neighborhood. That's June 27. Early morning here. Just waking up. Gotta get these dogs ashore. We had a good night. There was no accidents in the boat. Okay guys, who wants to come? Okay. Chief has learned how to come up the companionway by himself. I don't think Amber can do it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, come on, Chief. Come on, Amber. That's my girl. Come on. Okay, Chief, come on. Come on, Amber. Little jostling for space. Come on, let's go. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Good boy. Good boy, he did it. Now maybe when his sister sees it, he did it. Come on, sweetie. Come on, sweetie. That's a girl. Come on. Oh dear. Okay, come on. She's game. Come on, she's game. Let's go. She can do it. Okay, we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, here we go. A little bum help. A little help with the bum. There we go. There we go. That does it. Yeah, I've bought this little thing from PetSmart here, a little doggy stairs. It gets them up to the first step, and that seems to be the tick of her Chief. It gives him the confidence to continue up. So they're waiting now for orders to board the dinghy, and I'm gonna get down there and get ready for that. Amber's having a little pee here. She's been told that she's allowed to pee in the cockpit, so she's not waiting to get to shore. Alright. I'll be sitting in pee maybe. Try to avoid that. And I come and sit on the swim deck, swim platform, and put my legs over.
And they're eager. Okay, Chief. Okay. Okay, Amber. Okay, leaping down into the dinghy, ready to go ashore. They're all set. Get your legs in there, buddy. Get your butt in. Okay, ready to go ashore. Now this shoreline is very typical. Unfortunate kind of surroundings we often have. There's no real place for dogs to go ashore. This one's pretty bad, so we're going to try to find them a spot here in the lee of the land where they might be able to clamber up onto the grassy bank and do what they have to do. We'll see what we can do about that here. There is one little tiny beach downwind, but it's so far. We went there last night that it's not really worth the trip. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't have to do that one. Yeah, there's just nothing around. This is the best we can do. Oh, sort of a fish trap right there. To get that stuck in the propeller. Alright, best we can do. Sorry guys, this is pretty bad. I admit. Okay. Okay. Okay, Amber. Okay. Go ahead, Amber. Climb out someplace. Alright. Good girl. She's just going to squat and have a pee right there. That's how bad it gets sometimes. Poor guys. It's a bear. Look how long this thing is. Isn't that something else? I have no idea what this whole thing is all about.
Well, goodbye to Norfolk and Portsmouth as we're heading now across the James River to Hampton. Beautiful day for sailing, which is amazing because generally haven't had any decent weather at all. And now finally we get some decent weather. A little bit of sunshine. That's the end of the ICW. ICW stops here. Mile 0. These naval ships in the shipyard here, they're being protected by these patrol boats that will usher you away if you get too close to them. Obviously they're concerned about terrorist activities. You know what I just noticed about those aircraft carriers? There's a person on the very bow up there, I think, watching and guarding. Not everyone has it, but there's another one here. And this last one as well. I think just keeping an eye on security as they're at the dock. Pretty impressive boats.